the presentation / discovery that I'm showing y'all, and man, I'm excited to be back. So we're gonna get straight into it. Basically, I want y'all, number one, last time I didn't say, don't worry about these right here in the middle. Don't worry, act like they're not even there. 1, 0, 9, and 8, act like they're not there. Just focus on 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. Basically, last time we were talking about how, I left off the video talking about how I discovered this structure right here with 0 through 9. When you make this structure with the numbers, everything across from each other adds up to be 9. So 0 plus 9 equals 9. 1 plus 8 equals 9. 2 plus 7 equals 9. 3 plus 6 equals 9. And 4 plus 5 equals 9. So with me realizing that, it made me remember something from back in 2016 that I had saw when I was looking into this famous inventor responsible for pretty much everything that we use as electrical. Today his name was Nikola Tesla. So I started, looking into, some information, even more as far as this symbol that I was seeing at that time. And I actually have the symbol right here that I'm going to show you all so that y'all can see and, for yourself and not just have my word. I want y'all to actually have proof, and feel solid and everything that I'm showing y'all, and y'all can go back and research for yourselves too. But basically, I'll show y'all the symbol first. So here's the symbol right now. Please, God, let me remember to refocus this thing this time, because it's like the third video, y'all. Every time I walk away from this thing, I forget to refocus. But you end up with 9 right here in the center with his symbol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, with his symbol, the number 9, there's no 0. With mine, you do have a 0. I do want y'all to realize that. You see, there's a 0 on mine. But with this right here, you have no 0. So with 1, he basically said that he created his from creating a circle. He took a circle and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 in a complete circle. And then within that circle, he basically took the numbers and started doubling them, in order to create lines. And he always kept the numbers single digit. Anytime when he doubled the number, if it ended up being multi-digit, like for instance 16 or 32, he ended up adding those numbers like to single digits. So 16, 1 plus 6, and 32 would be 3 plus 2. He took the number 1. 1 doubled is 2. 2 doubled is 4. 4 doubled is 8. 8 doubled is 16. 1 plus 6 equals 7. So 16 double is 32. 3 plus 2 equals 5. So you draw a line of 5. And then 32 double is 64. 64. 6 plus 4 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. And then if you want to keep on going, 64 double. Oh, am I blocking it? Dang, man. 1. I said 64 double. Let me back it up. Over here, 16 is 7, because 8 double equals 16. 1 plus 6 equals 7. 16 double equals 32. 3 plus 2 equals 5. So you end up with 5 right there. And then 32 double would be 64. 6 plus 4 equals 10. But 1 plus 0 equals 1. So if you want to keep it going, 64 double from that point would be 128. 1 plus 2 plus 8 equals 11, because 1 plus 2 plus 8 is, and then you end up getting 2. I don't want to be too redundant, but basically when you look at that symbol, my task from that point on, I said to myself, was going to be to not copy his symbol, but I was looking at mine and like, okay, I use squares for mine. He drew a circle with his and put the numbers around the circle. So I was like, how would I get mine to end up being like his? And basically what you would have to do is you would have to end up taking, like he had 9 but no 0 in the center. I'm gonna show y'all his symbol one more time. And this is his symbol again. And if you look, I just want you to pay attention to the fact that 9 is on top and 4 and 5 are on the bottom. So you have 9 on top with no 0 and 4 and 5 on the bottom. But if you look at mine, so I have 4 and 5 on the top and 0 and 9 on the bottom. But if you look at mine, I have 0 and 9 on the bottom and 4 and 5 on the top. So my quest and my journey from that point. So I mean, basically the quest and journey from that point was I realized he had a singular 9 in the center of his, except the only thing is, like I told y'all, 4 and 5 were flipped, so my whole goal from that point on was to find out, was to flip it basically. But I said, instead of me just just going his way, I'm going to keep what I have going right here because it's showing the exact same thing. And I recognize that the flip of it would basically be an upside down pyramid. So I said, that made me think about the fact that, I've heard, I'm not saying it's true, but I've heard myself, through different sources and things like that, that there's pyramids, that inverted pyramids that they built under the pyramids that we see above ground. I don't know if there's 100% truth behind that, but I'm just saying that's something that I heard. But that idea itself, when I'm creating art, most artists use some type of references, but this isn't only art. This is just I'm using my artistic talent in order to amalgamate it with my knowledge that I have up here. Knowledge, imagination, all based on facts, in order to come together as one picture. I just move different than most people y'all see. You might comprehend it, you might not. But anyway, I knew that it would be inverted. So basically, that's what I ended up having to be on the quest of doing, is creating an inverted pyramid, just like I have here. Which obviously you would think it ain't hard at all. So basically, in order to do that, you would think, I thought about the fact too, two more things, that you have positive and you have negative. You have polar opposites. You got left and you got right. See, just like right here, you got a mirror image right now. All y'all can see is the top right now. But right here, you got a mirror image split by one line, just like you are as a person. I knew that as a person, as a human being, we all have a line for the most part. Most of us are symmetrical. Some people do have, some deficiencies and things like that. But for the most part, all of us are split down the line. Split with a line down the middle, just like we see here. And just like you see the pyramids, symmetrical. So, you end up with two identical sides, left and right. So you would need an identical side, below too. So in order to do that, the second thing I thought about was the fact that, number 9 is representative of, serpentine energy, the serpent, the spiral, and that really for the most part, and the spiral also has to do with, spine, spine, kundalini energy is set for the serpent to be sitting at the bottom of the spine. A resting serpent is what they call it. And that's coiled 3.5 times. And, so basically, when it comes down to the number 9, I don't know why I was just doing it. Was, because of that kundalini I was talking about, but I had my hand way up my back. But anyway, man, we start with the number 9 right here. We end with the number 9. We started with 0. We start, like I told y'all at the beginning, like I stated at the beginning of the video, I thought about the fact that, with, numbers, just like anything in reality, you have beginning and end. So you have the mouth and you have a tail. This ties into the Ouroboros, the second thing that I thought about. That's why I said that, about the serpentine energy. So this ties into the Ouroboros for you. For people who don't know what the Ouroboros is, the Ouroboros is basically a symbol, depicting a snake biting its tail. So you can have they have depictions with one snake biting its tail, And then they also have other depictions with two snakes biting each other's tail. So in this case, I knew that this would be one snake in order for me to get the 100% opposite of it. It would have to be the same thing. So I originally thought when I was going to invert it, I was going to put, you got positive numbers, negative numbers. Negative numbers would be down here. So I just thought, okay, I'll just put -9, drag down 8 and get -8, drag down 7 and get -7, drag down 6 and get -6, and continue that pattern on. But I thought to myself about the Ouroboros like I just brought up. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that because that wouldn't be perpetuated energy. You want to alternate, the numbers. And that's what I chose to do. So since like I said, this would be the beginning / the mouth, and the 9 would be the tail. 0 is the mouth, 9 is the tail. 0 is the beginning, 9 is the end. So I said you wouldn't, with the Ouroboros, it doesn't go one snake with the mouth and then mouth right here and then tail right here and then tail right here. I said it would be like, you would have the mouth right here /0, tail right here, which is 9, and then another mouth right here, which is 0, and then a tail right here, which is 9. So you got mouth, you would have mouth, tail, 0, 9, 0, 9. Not 0 or mouth, tail, tail, mouth, mouth, tail, tail, mouth, mouth, tail. No mouth to mouth. You want mouth to tail. 0 to 9, 9 to 0, not 0 to 0, and 9 to 9. You don't necessarily want those. So I, basically perpetuated the motion in that way. And once I realized that 0 is right here and -9 would be down here, in order to fill in the gaps, basically you would have the same pattern. So I just took -1 and put it right here, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, 7, -8, and -9, and completed the pattern basically. And that's exactly what we got. So when I remove this now that it's time almost to remove it, it'll show basically the inverted version of it. But before I do remove it, I wanted to show y'all, at the top, as far as getting the number 9 up here, you got the number 0 and 9 right here. In order to get the number 9 and make it like I said, the whole goal was to end up making, getting my diagram to function how that diagram I showed y'all how it was functioning. And the way that you would do that is you take 0 and 9 and you would combine them together. See, 0, the key is we're trying to get 9 in the center, just like this is inverted. You want 9 right here in that case. 4 and 5 are already at the top, which are on the bottom of his diagram like I showed y'all. You want 9 right here in the center, and the only way, well really not the only way, I'm going to show y'all some cool ways that you can get it to. 9 would be right here in the center. It's by, like I said, you add the 9. Add the 9. So you add the 9 to the 0 and you get a 9. We were already looking for 9, so 9 was already there anyway. The answer was already there in our face and waiting on us. But 0 already, it just cancels. But the way that you bring it together is you have to squeeze this in. You would squeeze the 0 and the 9 in together. Instead of, I got 0 and 9 right here just to show y'all the motions. I was going to put arrows coming in like this, like I have on previous diagrams that I constructed before I got to this point. But I said I would explain it to y'all. That's just showing that you push these in and push the 1 and the 8 in. The 1 and the 8 don't dissolve because they are not, 9. 0 is already nothing, but 9 already is what it is what it is. That's what we were, keying for. We were going for the 9 in the first place. So therefore, 0 and 9, the fact that we were trying to get 9 has a special relationship in it to where it already just comes together as 1 in the center. But 1 and 8, they still are going to function as polars because they are not, 1 does not necessarily equal 9, but I can show you how they are linked, which I was about to get into too. But 8 definitely, does not equal 9, but they can very much function, because 8 can function like 9 and 1 can function like 9. But basically what I'm going to show y'all, you don't have to just get 9 like that. What I'm gonna show y'all is, like I was just saying with the 1 and the 9, but 9 equals line. Usually when we, speak and use words, sometimes we don't realize 9 can be used interchangeable with line a lot of the times, through just depending on how you use it and how you look at it. Because a 180-degree line, 1 plus 8 plus 0 equals 9. So a 180-degree line equals a 9 basically. And then not only do you have, that's the x-axis right here, the horizontal, the horizon axis. You have an up and down y-axis. And this y-axis right here, what's the middle point in between 0 and 9? 4.5. So 4.5, 4 and 5 is 9. So you end up with 9 being in the middle, which is the line that separates everything. So everything right here is always going to end up being 9, and it doesn't even stop there. I can keep it going. And then I'm going to leave y'all one section where y'all can find out like a little, what I'm going to do is, it's going to be one last 9 that you can pause the video and look for it, but I'm not going to give it to you. And you can find where it's at. You got to use your head though. Now, down here, the last little couple two that I'm going to show y'all, you can get 9 right here and 9 right here, because as you have this line at the 4.5 mark, between 0 and 9, you have this line at the 4.5 mark. You would end up with 2 90-degree angles right here. One going this way and one going that way. So you have 90, 9 plus 0 equals 9, so you have 9 like that. Or you can have it the exact mirror opposite, 9 plus 0 on that, 90 degrees this way. Now what's 90 plus 90? You end up with 180 degrees, which is your horizon line. Both of those angles end up constructing the horizon line, which ends up being 9. 1 plus 8 plus 0 equals 9. So 9, no matter what, is supposed to be in the center. It ends up making its way in the center, whether you're talking about geometry, angle-wise, or just numerically. It's going to end up being here in the center. Center of the vortex slash these numbers that, these numbers are creating a vortex basically. And, basically, I think, I'm to the point where now I can remove the paper and show y'all basically the bottom. Like I said, you don't want -9, -8, -7, negatives. You don't want that. You want, mouth to tail and then mouth to tail. You want to keep on going, mouth, tail, mouth, tail, mouth, tail, mouth, tail. Keep on going, and it'll never stop. That's called perpetuating energy. So now what we're going to do is remove this, and we're going to end up, and like I said, y'all, I hope y'all pause the video. I want to hear who can, well, I can't, because I'm going to end up giving the answer anyway, but it was just a cool little moment for y'all, just to pause the video and try to find the other 9, just to, play with your brain a little bit. When you look at this now, at the bottom, man, it's beautiful, bro. I mean, you just look at how everything is set up, it's real beautiful just how everything comes together as one. I love, what I have created here. I got to say it, man. Like, I've never seen anything like this, and this is just on point to me. So basically, it's just like you have these 0 and 9, I explained to y'all, that's how you end up with the 1, 0, 9, and 8. You push them in, you squeeze it together. So basically, you would do the same thing with the 9 and 0 down here. So you just basically taking these ends and squeezing them in together like that, and you're going to end up making an 8. See, this right here is a big old 8 right here. That's what that create. End up, an 8 is connected to ether. 8. And that's not the only 8. You got a horizontal 8 too. But basically what we have now, I can put the paper up here at the top and get y'all to just focus on what I have, and I can show y'all that symbol one more time, just in case you don't feel like going back in the video and going to the point of where I had the symbol shown. I can show y'all the symbol one more time and show y'all that this is basically, you might already see it. This is exactly the symbol though. This is exactly what I just showed you when you invert it. And I told y'all, no matter what, 9 ends up in the center. I told y'all that. So You know, you got 90 right here, 90, but all the while, you know, I just did that to show y'all also, just like I did right here, that I just simply pushed that together. That's all it is. But all the while, you know, the advanced version of this, the final version, you don't need 90, 90 doesn't need, it's omitted. You don't need it right there. At the end of the day, you just put 9 right here in the center. And you just leave it at that. 9 goes right there in the center, because that's what everything equals. Everything right here is going to come back to 9 no matter what you do. So, you know, these, you know, the diagram that I very first saw in 2016 that I didn't know anything about, you know, I ended up, man, I questioned to myself, man, like, dude, you know, I don't even know what to say about myself, man, with this here. I'm surprised, man. But anyway, here's the symbol right here. Again for y'all. As you can see, you got 9 at the top, 4 and 5 at the bottom. 1 and 8 are directly across from each other. 7 and 2 are directly across from each other. Y'all look at the placements of these numbers. Because at first, y'all saw that 4 and 5, it was completely the opposite. Y'all couldn't probably even tell exactly what I was talking about as far as 4 and 5 and then 9 being at the center, at the bottom, you know, on his, and I had 9 and 0 on mine. It was flipped. So when you see this and now you look at that at the bottom, look at how 8 and 1 are right across from each other. What did I say would be in the center at the top? 9, just like he has here. So you can start with 9 at the top, 8 and 1. You see 8 and 1. 7 and 2 are in the middle. Is his in the middle too? Yes, it is. It's just like everything else. You got 2 on the bottom and then 2 on the top, and you got 7 and 2 in the middle. You got 2 rows on the bottom, 2 rows on the top, and 7, 2 in the middle. You got 6 and 3 right across from each other. You got 4 and 5 right across from each other. Just like you have here. And then I ended up creating the lines, just like I told y'all, you double the numbers. I ended up taking the numbers and doubling them just like he did. And that's why you end up having those lines that are right there in the center. Right there in the center. That's why you have these lines. So, and now, if you have your eyes open, you know, if your eyes are open, you know, I wasn't going to really say anything at all of the videos that, you know, the retakes I've done. Man, look, you probably already know what you see. I wasn't going to say anything necessarily, but right here you have the Masonic square and compass. This is exactly what this is right here, all day long, you know. Now I'm just saying that and throwing that out there, but that's 100% the Masonic square and compass. The Masonic square and compass is compromised off of a square, you know, which has a 90-degree angle down here. So what would be at the top on the reflection? 90 degrees. So that's y'all's 9 that I was talking to y'all about, that I was saying I would leave for y'all to find. That's where the 9 is at. The 9 is right here. Guess what? The 9 is the all-seeing eye. Now, what did I tell y'all earlier? That I is the the ninth letter. I is the 9th letter of the alphabet. So, the I is the 9. So, what is I also? I told y'all that that 9 equals line. I just said that, I equals 9. Well, what is the Roman numeral, for, I? I mean, well, at the end of the day here, just like here at the top, you have everything adding up to be 9 across. You would have the same thing here at the bottom. Everything here at the bottom at that point would be everything adding up to be 9 across. So you got 0 plus 9 equals 9. 1 plus 8 equals 9. 7 plus 2 equals 9. 3 plus 6 equals 9. 4 plus 5 equals 9. So everything adds up to 9 up there, and down there, and everything adds up to 9 up here. Now, not only that, but what I can also do, you don't just have it that way. All because of the fact that I chose to use the OUROBOROS mentality, with the snake biting his tail. Instead of just putting 9 right here and then negative, negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, when you do this now up and down, I chose to look at the numbers up and down. I looked at everything crossways, up and down, vertically. I did everything I could, even used some angle methods just to play around, like, 1, 2, and just kept on, I tried everything. But just off of the fact that I chose to use that Ouroboros mentality with the snake biting its tail, perpetual energy type of thing, we not only, because negative 8 and negative 8 would have been negative or 16, because positive 8 and negative 8 would have just been 16 or negative 16, and that's 7, so that throws it off already. You still end up with 9 as long as you use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You start with 0 instead of 9, and you go this way. You're going to end up now with 9 right here. 8 plus 1 equals 9. 7 plus 2 equals 9. 6 plus 3 equals 9. 4 plus 5 equals 9. 4 plus 5 equals 9 again. 3 plus 6 equals 9 again. 2 plus 7 equals 9 again. 1 plus 8 equals 9 again. 0 plus 9 equals 9 again. Now, down here at the bottom, like I just showed y'all, that's up and down. Both ways, on both sides, it's 9. Here, across, I just told y'all was 9. And I obviously showed y'all at the top that everything adds up to be 9. So you have 9 horizontally and vertically. Perpendicularly, basically, you have 9 adding up everywhere. And, man, that's just, that's amazing to me. A lot of people, probably question what this means, but I have to get into that. Like I said, it ties into the structure of DNA, literally, man. And how it replicates and everything, So basically, I'm gonna throw some pictures of the Ouroboros in here just so y'all can see that too. And I think that's basically gonna cut off right here at part 2. Actually, man, I think we actually just summed up part 2, because I was trying to avoid, talking about 4 and 5 too much, because I'm actually about to. That's the next section. It's section 3 or part 3. I'm trying to make sure that I don't cut the video off before I have concluded and really finished. But let me see. So we're gonna let part number 2 be concluded right there. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the knowledge and enjoyed the way that it was brought to you. Part number 3, we're going to be getting into the significance of the very special number pair 4 and 5. And I'm very excited to do it, man. Because that was one of the biggest discoveries of it all. One of the key of the discoveries at that. Tesla, he discovered the 3, 6, and 9, but me, myself, as you can see, what's at the top of the pyramid, because 6 and 3 isn't even the middle, but what's at the top of the pyramid, 4 and 5. So that's all I'm saying, man. So at the end of the day, we're just going to conclude it right there and look forward to the secrets of 4.5, part number 3. Peace.